can't go into a revive season still bleeding from the casualties of life, right? Just the day-to-day casualties of life that happen before. Right? So, you feel challenged in your faith, and then God shows up, and then you want to stay and live in that space. And God is like, no, to really get to where I'm taking you ministry-wise, where I'm taking you as a person, where I'm taking you, your family and everything, it is going to continuously require more push. Yes. With that push also means there is going to be challenges. The enemy going to show up. There's going to be warfare. I'm just so happy and excited that God has surrounded me with a team of people that are just like on fire with that same fire that we have. Those of you that are on here, be on the lookout, because we are probably getting ready to come up due on another live person on set. So we'll be getting with you here in a little bit, kind of finding more people to kind of sit down and just share their story and have this open dialogue and discussion. So just be on the lookout for that. Let me make sure I'm getting all the formalities out of the way. The Thorns couple, not only are they a part heavily in the structure of what we're building, but be prepared to kind of start seeing them in this capacity a little bit more. I love what they bring, not only to us individually, personally, but even like just the dialogue and the discussions that we have. So just be on the lookout for that. Kingdom moves, facts, exactly. So
Courtney.
So be on the lookout for all of that. I think I got the formalities out of the way. Last week's discussion was so crazy, and we only got, let me tell you, we only got through 4 questions. But on top of only getting through 4 questions, I called Kenneth and his wife, Belinda. I called them like Tuesday. It was probably like an hour before we're going live.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like, do you want to be on this? He's like, man, bro, we got church and we got this. He's like, man, if it run another week, be great. And so I was like, bet. And just so happened, like, the discussion really did really well. The dialogue did really well, but we only scratched the surface. And so we are going to kind of pick up where we left off, per se. But I'm not much of a part 2 person. Like, I try not to do that. So today, what we're really going to be talking about is, can God fix it? Right? Mm-hmm. The discussion of today is, can God fix it? And what I mean by that is we have talked about, last week we talked about the brokenness. We talked about the not broken beyond repair, but the dysfunction aspect sometimes that we see in family. But the question today is, can God fix it? And so we're gonna pick up on a couple of the questions that we carried over from last week that we just didn't get to. And then I'm not even gonna hold you. This could go anywhere. So grab a hold of your seat and just let us follow God, and you just kind of follow with us, all right? Today I'm gonna start off with this question. And guys, I'm gonna launch in. We're gonna just jump in. I'm gonna throw you a quick multiple choice. Here's the question. What does healing from family trauma look like? What role does forgiveness play in family healing? A, it frees you more than it frees them. B, it invites peace into your process. Or C, it protects your future from your past. A, it frees you more than it frees them. B, it invites peace into your process. Or C, it protects your future from your past. What role does forgiveness play in family healing? A, B, C, all. All of the above. A, B, C, yes, all.
Yes.
All.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's launch into this, right? I think that oftentimes when we talk about family trauma, we often talk about it from the perspective of the key essential traumas, right? Like abuse, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse. But sometimes your traumas aren't in the big 6, right? Sometimes it's it's the little things. Sometimes it's the big things. Sometimes it's how you talked, right? Like, did your parents talk to you soft spoken, or were they very loud, right? Very passionate.
Emotional.
Yeah, right. Emotional, right? Very
Emotional.
passionate.
Yeah.
And if that was how they communicated, and then you got older, passion starts to feel like anger or aggression, right? And so each of us have probably our own dynamic of how we would answer this question. But I'm gonna throw it out there, and whoever kind of grab it, it's kind of up to you, right? But what does healing from family trauma for you personally? What did it look like? Like, what did the healing process really? What? Not even the process necessarily. What did the? We know that we're a work in process, in progress. But what did the phase that you're in right now? What did the manifestation of that healing? What did it look like?
Sharon, I'm gonna go last because of what y'all said at the table last night. Sharon know this joke, so I'm not going first. Men and women, I'm letting the ladies go first.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll go. What it looked like to me was understanding their path, understanding like the person, what they had to go through, and their experiences. Allow me to give them some grace, because then they didn't really mean it like that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to take it from where they're giving it from, not where I perceived it.
Listening with a desire to understand.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna even piggyback off of that. Understand that they can only teach me up until a certain point for what they was taught.
Yeah.
I had to really comprehend that. They gave me everything I needed, and now it's time for me to learn what God has to teach me.
Well, I'm not gonna hold you. Healing for me has been raising my kids. Like, raising my kids has made me become so much more appreciative, but also so much more aware of where my parents were.
Yeah.
Right? Because oftentimes it's hard to look at a person through their intentions sometimes when their intentions still affected me.
Right.
Right? So as Christian as I would like to be, and as saved and sanctified and all the other stuff that I would like to be, and be like, oh, I have the capacity to. It took a growth process to get there, because I didn't see it that way till I started doing it with my own children. I tell this, me and my wife, we laugh about this all the time, and I tell them, there have been times here recently when I had to pick up the phone and call my dad and be like, bro, I'm sorry. He's like, what you mean? He don't even know what I'm apologizing for. Man, because I'm raising these kids, and they done did this, and this, and it reminded me when I did that, and that over there, and now I realize, bro, like, some of what I thought was traumatic was really teaching moments. But I didn't know how to process them in that way. And I'm taking responsibility, right? Because in a total picture, it was hard to process it, because some of how you delivered it might not have been like packaged in a way that I received best. Yeah, right? But to remove that and just take the part that I'm accountable for out of it, there was some stuff you was trying to say to me that I wasn't ready for, or I couldn't process. We say this all the time. Sometimes there's people in your life who God has called you to give them stuff in a season when they don't know how to value it. But you still gotta sow it. You still gotta give it, right? Because there's gonna come a season when they need it. And in that season when they need it, it needs to be present. So I'm gonna give this to you, even though you're not gonna say thank you, even though you're not gonna know how to appreciate it, because it's necessary. So for me to heal, I had to find those lessons in those things that probably weren't comfortable.
You was gonna say, what I used to hear growing up, I'm gonna give you something to chew on.
Yeah.
Because I can't digest it. I can't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you something to chew on. And it was like, what that mean? It was like, okay, now I see, because now I'm at the point where I'm digesting it. You know what I'm saying? Then I was just, it was something for me to think about. But yeah, that was the saying, give you something to chew on.
That's power, man. That's actually, I really don't have to come back because I liked all of them. But for me, I believe all answers were correct, all of them. But what really stuck out to me is number one, is doing more for me than it's doing for them.
Yeah.
Because it's like getting a plate of food. The way our parents have taught us, or the way our cousins, our big cousins, whoever it is, they had to step in and raise us. If we had a missing father in the house or a missing mother in the house, other people stepped in. My father wasn't staying at the house, so my cousin Howard was, man, and he was like a father to me. My dad always came visit me, see me or pick me up, but Harold played a major role in growing me up.
Yeah.
And as Harold was growing me up, we was just talking about it while we was eating Sunday. He was teaching me discipline and respect, but he was doing it in an aggressive way. So we could be walking down the street, man, and I could just look at an adult. I could look at somebody grown, and then a whole bunch of heat come from the back of my head. That's disrespectful. You don't stand no grown-ups. You don't do this. And then he started instilling in me. But I have a lot of respect. I have always had a lot of respect when I see my elders or anything like that, man. I've always been a door opener, always been that type. But me being raised a certain way, I brung that food to my own house. Yeah. I put that on my own plate. Yeah. So when we taking and picking, we putting food on our plate. Mm-hmm. And the more food we putting on our plate, the problem is we're not taking the bad stuff off of the plate. Yeah. We leaving it on with the good stuff. Yeah. And it's what's causing all the other situations to come about. Mm-hmm. So, man, we have to understand that, man, I need to look at my plate before I start eating it to see, hey, man, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Yeah. And the more I start seeing that, hey, bro, you don't eat potato salad. Yeah. Keep that off next time. Mm-hmm. Then I know that I need to treat my daughter a different way. I need to treat my sons a different way. My sons, it's no KT in my house but me. Yeah. My sons have never seen that lifestyle. So I shouldn't be talking to them as though that they come from where I come from. Yeah. They have not even walked in them shoes, but I'm still trying to give them the same discipline and the same food that I used to eat off of, but that food don't work for them. Yeah. I gotta pick their food and what works best for them. Mm-hmm. And man, that's what I'm learning in this season.
I like that. I kid you not. I know that wasn't intended to be a soundbite, but that's a soundbite all in itself because it's so many people who don't understand that some of what you got was because of where you grew up. Yeah. And you're not raising you. Yeah. Because if you really did your job, the things that you're trying to protect them from by teaching them that, you already protected them from that when you raised them the way you raised them. Yeah. I like that, bro.
Or
that was
pulled them out of that situation. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Pull your mic up.
That was a good one. Go ahead, Sharon.
There you go.
That's good. That's good. I had a thought that came from the question that you asked. The first choice was, what was it? It frees us more.
It frees us more than it frees them.
Okay. So I had this whole download that came in my mind when I heard that. And that's true because walking in forgiveness is obedience. Yep. And God is going to free you when you're moving in obedience, period. Yep. No matter what it is. But sometimes we don't realize how freeing it is for the other person. And I have a personal example. If I can just be a little transparent.
No, go ahead.
The Lord's really dealing with me a few years ago, in the beginning of some transition. He was really breaking me, all the way down. And so he told me to go to my ex-husband and apologize to him. And because I'm just like, Lord, what I need to do? Okay, Lord, I'm just all in God's face. Okay, I do it. Let's go. What you want me to do? He said, go apologize to him. And I was like, okay, for what? And it wasn't I didn't think he deserved it. Yeah. But I was trying to be so specific. Yeah. I'm like, okay, for what exactly? I don't want to miss it. Mm-hmm. And so he's just like, you already know. I didn't know in the moment. But once I went to him and said, okay, I need to apologize to you, then it came. And he told me, I forgave you a long time ago. And he gave me a hug. Yeah. I did not know that I needed to know that he forgave me until he said it. Yeah. And that freed me. Yeah. Hearing him say that to me, that I didn't know that I was even bound up in any kind of emotional way until he said it. So I said all that to say, yes, it frees us, but sometimes the person, when you just go to them and say, hey, you know what? I forgive you, we're good. Sometimes it releases something on them that they don't even know is holding them, kind of captive,
Hostage.
wondering, well, where do we stand?
Mm-hmm.
I apologize, but you never said anything. So it frees both of us. It's going to free the forgiver automatically, but it can also free the one that's hearing it.
Yeah.
Good. That's
I'm gonna tell you the part that would have been my, out of those three. I mean, all of them, they're definitely all of the above. But my biggest one would probably be C, when it says it protects your future from your past. What I don't want to do is bleed on my tomorrow from the wound of yesterday. Because you keep asking, I find myself asking God to give me something new, to refresh me, to revive me, right? But I can't go into a revive season still bleeding from the casualties of life, right? Just the day-to-day casualties of life that happened before said situation. Whether that be my marriage, whether that be as a father to my children, but still wrestling with my own childhood, right? Like trying to we are, healing is a process.
That part.
It doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. But what you want to make sure you're not doing, though, is that God is giving you a new season and you're contaminating the season God has given you with the wound that God has already declared you healed from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. I can't speak for everybody, but I think for sure the four of us sitting on this seat, I can say family is tricky business.
Yeah.
It just is. Family is tricky business because you want to make something complicated. Start adding in multiple personalities, multiple experiences, multiple processes. It doesn't even have to be family. Just look at businesses. Businesses, multiple people, multiple processes. It gets messy, right? And so family is messy business. But what I don't want to do is God has declared that my family will be healed and it will be whole, and that God says that I'm a catalyst for the wholeness of it. And then every time I'm put in a position to represent and to declare the wholeness that God has already declared over me, right? The wholeness that God has already declared over me. And before you know it, I am rehashing wounds. I'm bleeding all over people. And they like, man, we just was trying to have a good time and eat dinner. And you talking about the last Thanksgiving and this, like, you know.
Where everybody fell out.
Yeah, we trying to get a do-over and you bringing up old business, you know.
Something back up.
Yeah, and so sometimes the truth is the reason that the situation ain't healed is because I ain't healed.
Yeah.
Right? Because while I don't want to be accountable for healing my family, when God has declared it your assignment, you are accountable, right? If God ain't assigned it to you, if God ain't said, Brian, you're going to be the catalyst for growth, change, deliverance for your family, if he hasn't spoken that over me, then I could see how you could get it lost in the sauce, right? But if God has already declared said thing, right, I'm obligated to it now because I'm assigned to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, that's power, man. And I think also, B, man, just to add to it before you move on.
No,
man,
go ahead.
That just hit me, man. Just what you talked about the bleeding over. I also believe, man, we pick what we want to suffer in.
Come on. Ooh.
We pick what we want to suffer in. Each and every one of us, we want our own business. We want to be better. We want to grow. But what do? We still suffer to go get on somebody else's clock.
Yep.
We still suffer to go get that check. We still suffer to go get that dress. We still suffer to go get those clothes. We pick what we want to suffer in. But when he said pick up your cross and suffer like me, that means we have to suffer in all things.
Yeah.
And when Sharon was talking, man, it reminded me last week, I said, man, I got to do better. I know that this girl be lying. I'm talking about my daughter.
Yeah.
But I have to suffer in this lying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I went to her, I screamed at her. I said, man, that don't make no sense. You just always lying. I said, go, good night, go to bed, ain't no TV. And I sent her up there, but I handled the whole situation wrong.
Yeah.
And when I sat on the couch while watching the movies, I didn't tell my sons, I didn't tell my wife what I was going doing. I'm just talking to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And as I'm being convicted by handling the wrong situation. The only thing is to make it right
That
because
part.
I'm being so sensitive to the spirit
Yeah.
and I'm stopping me from growing.
Yeah.
She's not stopping me. I'm stopping me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an area that God not only working on her, what Shane was saying, he's also working on me.
Yeah.
I like to suffer in this, but I don't like to
It's a
suffer
dual
in this.
purpose.
Yeah.
I have to learn how to love all of the suffering that I have to go through in life.
Yeah.
That way I can embrace it the same way
Yeah.
with faith, with peace,
Yeah.
with joy,
I like
with
that.
happiness. And when I went up there, man, I said, hey, she turned around and she had a smile because she knew I'm finna talk to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
You know he was coming to apologize.
yeah, I said, hey, I apologize, man. I said, I should have never screamed at you like that, man. I said, man, I can't stand no liars. That made me feel good. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna feed you, but I need to feed you. I can't stand no liars, man. I just need you to talk to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't just be doing that, man. I want to talk to you, but you can't just be lying to me. And she's smiling, just glowing because I'm repenting to her. I'm showing her that, hey, not only I'm asking you to change, I'm changing.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
let me tell you. I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
Is it not so hard? Like, it's definitely a war with the enemy when God tell you to go apologize to your children.
Oh, man. A whole nother
man.
level of suffering.
Listen, brother. Listen, I'm getting on my son because what was missing? Was it? Oh, I had this little half zip. Little half zip. Man, and
Lord have mercy.
my dad done started dishing out these half zips. I got one and my kids got them. So he done started dishing them out to the kids. And so I'm starting to see ones look like mine. Well, I couldn't find mine. And so I'm telling you, if that's my half zip, me and you gonna have it. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
My wife ain't said nothing. All right, she ain't said nothing. A couple of minutes later, she come out the closet. And she had found it. I went back, I say, son, man, I'm wrong. Like, it was on me. It was in the closet. It was on me. And you know what he said? Here was the moment. He said, man, you know, I didn't even know adults apologize like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, we got to, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong for that. Like, I got to own that. You know what I mean? And because, again, I was raised, and not trying to, like, say it that way, but we were raised with the adults who, even if they were wrong, they went to bed.
Yeah.
And it was like,
That's it.
I'm wrong, but he's still gonna learn the lesson.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and sometimes that's not healthy either. So, Shonda, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I have a saying like this: hurt people,
Mhm.
bleed people, love people, love people. Throughout the years, I've learned from my own self from growing up with my mother and my father. They always affirmed me. They didn't raise their voice. They didn't yell. I never, even people said I was a spoiled child, which is true, but I didn't get a whooping. There was conversations. They heard me out. That is something I took on with not only my children, with my nieces and nephews. I listened. We all have to remember we're humans. Life and death is in the power of their tongue.
Yep.
We had a nephew of mine over last week discussing with him his children. You have to sometimes break away from the cycles of what your parents said. We cannot control our children. Sometimes we're so busy trying to fix our children or fix our mate or fix this or fix that. You have to be willing to fix what's in you that is broken first. And then that will overflow into the relationships with your children. And we were telling him that his kids kept calling us, and I was like, your kids are calling us, and we hearing everybody's side. But you have to speak life into your children. You can't say, oh, you made a stupid choice. We all make mistakes. We all make choices that are not. You know what? Say this. I feel disappointed that you did such and such, but how are we going to fix this? How can I help you to fix this? And your child will respond better like, oh, I realize that you're hurt by my choice and I made a mistake, but you're willing to help me through it will work out better. Our son, rest his soul, Terrence, he was our trouble child. I used to call him the Tasmanian devil. I used to tell people I work with kids in mentoring and counseling. I'm like, shoot, I got to go home to a child that give us 10 times worse than these kids I'm working with. But I would realize with Terrence, if we didn't yell at him, we didn't get the fussing, anything, Terrence would open up and he would say why he made a choice. And we would say, well, what are we going to do to fix it? What are you going to do to make not this mistake again? And he would turn it all around and he would smile and he would be okay and he'll move forward from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you one of the hardest things
That's awesome, Miss Shawn.
Yeah,
All kids are different.
100%.
I want to say something that I had to learn, and I'm plugging it back in here. You realize forgiveness isn't an option. But you also realize unforgiveness is something we taught. So to get back to forgiving is something we have to learn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I say that because when you have conversations with people, forgiveness feels like such a strain or a pull of a word to use. But the reality is, the moment you realize how much unforgiveness is controlling your health, unforgiveness is controlling your mental health, unforgiveness is controlling sometimes your release, your blessings, your freedom, right? The moment you realize that, you realize I do need to do this for you, maybe, but I so need to do this for me. You know what I mean? You know, because forgiveness doesn't excuse the behavior, but it frees the burden. I'm not carrying it, right? And what's crazy is sometimes we have made wrong, bad, or poor decisions, not realizing we made them out of unforgiveness. Not I made them because I didn't forgive KT. I made them because I didn't forgive the person who hurt me the first time. And so now KT don't even get an excuse or opportunity or an option to hurt me, right? And I'm saying that because family is the first place we learn how to navigate all of that. So the truth of the matter is you not only apologize for you being wrong. Read that to me.
Sorry, honey.
You not only apologize for you being wrong, you apologize because you're trying to work on better your communication. Exactly. Exactly. And that step is not just required with our kids, but we're doing it for our kids to teach our kids kind of not to learn the bad habits or the bad traits we picked up. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the heart. Growing in grief taught me and my kids that the attachment to our past life couldn't be greater than the commitment to our future. That took godly forgiveness. Facts. Again, going back to it, like I kid you not, I guess we swinging at it 1,000 times, right? But the reality is I gotta do it so that tomorrow is better than today. I gotta forgive what happened, and I gotta let go the burden of it just to have a fight at tomorrow. Because if we be real, life is such life, right? It's so life that tomorrow has its own obstacles, its own situations, right? Its own burdens, which means if I don't learn how to release it, at some point it's just added weight and added weight and added weight. And then 4 years from now, I meet KT and I'm throwing up just a vomiting abuse to him. Why? Because I just been carrying trauma on top of trauma, unforgiveness on top of unforgiveness. And at some point, I got to make the adjustment. I'm going to roll to the next point, but I want to give you the scripture. Colossians 3:13 says, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Understanding that God is not telling you to do something that you haven't needed, that he hasn't had to do, right? Yes. I'm asking you to give something you've already gotten, not give something you've never needed to receive. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Question number 6, multiple choice. Here it is. How do you know you're healing from a broken family dynamic? A, you stop trying to control everything. B, you can talk about your story without anger. Or C, you start responding differently in new relationships. How do you know you're healing from a broken family dynamic? A, you stop trying to control everything. B, you can talk about your story without anger. And C, you start responding differently in new relationships. B, A, B, and C, all of the above. A, B, and C, all of the above. Yes. C. All right. Group, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How do you know you're healing from a broken family dynamic, you personally?
I guess I'm gonna go ahead and take this one.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I knew I was healed from a broken family dynamic. I dealt with rejection, abandonment, and rejection. and I never would get too close. I always had in my mind, you can come close, but can't come too close.
Yeah.
Because eventually, I must sabotage the situation, or you will, and I'll just leave.
Yeah.
So I knew I was healing when God began to work on me to stay.
Yeah.
And he revealed to me why you running.
Yeah.
Where you running to?
Yeah.
There's no place that you can go where I'm not going to repeat this same situation again.
Yeah.
So you can come on in and come confront this and let me work on your heart. Let me work on your mind. Let me work on your emotions. And let you digest it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Now you can come in and I can be like, you know what? It's okay. I still love you, even though I know you know you're wrong. But I'm here for you. Whatever you want, I'm here.
That is definitely me. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that is powerful.
Me, I would say the anger.
The anger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So what is the anger? Because let me tell y'all something. You hear her say that word, but she don't display anger in the way you think it.
Yeah, she don't have the KT anger.
So
she
before
has a different anger.
I want you to give clarity or insight to what is that anger? What does that mean?
My anger, what it looked like. What it looked like. Distance. I would that was like a running thing that people knew about me.
Mm-hmm.
If you made me upset, I wouldn't talk to you for about 3-4 months. And that was like the bare minimum. So don't call me. Don't ask my kids to call me. Don't try to get to me any kind of way. That was the rule. Like, when you made me mad is when I would stop talking to you. It's not like I'm not aggressive like that.
Mm-mm.
So I would just stop talking. But the new version of me, which is very new and I'm still working on, is 72 hours?
Mm-hmm. 72 hours. The 72. She got a 72-hour rule.
The 72 hours. And I'm working, you know what I'm saying? It's coming down. It's now like, what?
48.
One incident we had like 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's coming down, getting better.
He said,
But I mean,
better.
I'm working on it. But I would say that's how I knew when I was okay.
7 days.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It took me a minute because I was just like, look.
I want to say, because I know we kind of running the 3 and the 4, and then KT gonna pick it up, and KT probably gonna fight me for this one. But I want to say this. I think my answer to question 6, how do you know you're healing from a broken family dynamic, is it's a 2-part. 1, it's a personal question, and 2, because it might not look the same for all of us, and 2, it's being aware of where you're broken at, right? Like, you could have picked all 3, right? Or like for me, I think C is my heavy, which C, which was you start responding differently in new relationships, because I became aware, I analyzed it, and now I'm putting plan and steps into play to keep me from repeating how I handled that situation with the next person. Yes, I'm apologetic to how I handled it, me to you, but now I need to make sure moving forward that Kenneth doesn't get that same response. Because again, my wife has a saying, she needs time to process because she don't want to have to apologize for it. So I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And so for me, it's analyzing to make sure that I really apply what I learned in the last season, not to repeat that response to somebody else. You know what I mean? So for me, it would be definitely responding differently in new relationships. And that's not just friends. I think the best place, even we using family to discuss this, but I really feel like so much of this content goes anywhere. So much of this discussion can go anywhere. I just think family is sometimes the easiest place to start applying it, because family is, church.
That's your building.
Because
That's
most of these people are in proximity.
Yeah.
Some of these people you have access to rectify today. Some of these people you have access to discuss, like, you know what I mean, the being whole or being healed in it today. You know what I mean? And so it's a good launching ground. But the reality is this is applicable to a bunch of different places. Like you said a few minutes ago, church is definitely one of those places too. You know, when you've been in ministry as long as we've been in ministry, church hurt's a real thing. But I think we use that word kind of loosely, and we use it to justify staying in a way instead of dealing with the situation, right? Oh, well, I'm not going to church at all no more because I done been affected by church. Well, that's allowing my past to bleed into my present. Yeah. And that's really affecting my future game. You know what I mean? And so it's really learning to apply the principle everywhere, not just in family, but everywhere. Yeah. Go ahead, my guy.
Nah, that's power, man. Y'all actually got me. I feel like I don't need to say nothing on that topic. But if I do, I would say it's and my wife could correct me if I'm wrong. For me, I think it's almost the last one what you said. I'm so good at even when I'm hurt, I play it off.
Yeah.
So I wasn't dealing with the situation the way I really needed to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
I was actually really just go ahead and walking in it in a lie. Yeah. Because I choose to be hurt instead of coming back and hurting you.
Yeah. And then crack a couple of jokes and make it light.
Yeah. But I never really dealt with the situation with you. Yeah. And the reason why I didn't deal with the situation with you, because if the conversation go too wrong, I can't deal with what's coming after that. So I'd rather just say, hey, man, I am truly hurt about this situation to myself. But nah, man, I have took that from my wife. She deals with the situation like that. Yeah. I mean, if it is wrong, it's wrong. If it ain't right, it ain't right. And that communication comes straight off. And I say, you know what? As believers, we've been living a lie. Yeah. Because we know people are offending us. We know people are hurting us. We know people are saying things and standing in our face and these things ain't true. And we just sit there, oh, okay, bless you. And then we go call somebody and, oh, girl, you wouldn't believe them. Bro, let me tell you, we just as not as right as them. Yeah. Because we didn't handle it the way that Jesus told us to handle it.
If I have all with my brother,
man, the right way.
Take it to him.
And we praying. Yeah. We praying, and he ain't hearing none of those prayers because I ain't fixing none of them situations. That's why I'm running from offense. Yeah. I'm running from arguments and disputes, man. But for the fact is, because I gotta fix that. Yeah. I have to fix that, man. So I believe and
that's the part, I think we need to dwell on, right? Is I gotta fix that. Yeah. Right? It's not something that I can ignore or avoid or pretend, right? I gotta fix it. Yes. I gotta fix it for dual reasons. Yeah. Not just because I gotta see you again, but I also gotta fix it because if I don't fix it, I'm gonna carry it, right? And it's gonna show up in me somewhere else with somebody who is oblivious. Hey man,
knowledge.
Hey man, why homie just went off on me like that, bro? It wasn't even like that.
Back in 1984, we was on the hopscotch.
Yeah,
and that's why this platform is so important. For the fact is, because sometimes, man, even when we are going to church, I am a church-going guy, man. I have changed my life. I'm a little bit too sold out. I serve 24/7. Yeah. But we are not getting a response. We're not getting the answers. We're not getting the communication. We're not getting the discipleship that we truly need.
That part.
You know, man, you can have somebody get up there and they preach, oh, me and my wife, we ain't never got no issues. We don't argue. All right, copy that, pastor, but that ain't for the rest of the 200 of us back here. Yeah. Talk to us about something totally different, my boy.
We need that.
What you talking about, God bless you. We don't have, got the
and look, like the reality is if that's really what's working for you, then talk about that too. Tell me, listen, like I kid you not, I tell people all the time, us not arguing now is a both of us thing. Yeah. Us not arguing when we first got together was all because of her. Yeah. Because it take two to argue, and she was not arguing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes. I could be fussing, I can't believe
you told me that when you first met her. And she quiet. I was like, that's what he needs, Lord.
And she just sitting there looking at me. She's like, yep. And but again, I think I said this, we do so many of these, so I can't remember where, but I had this discussion, and I was just saying not too long ago with a buddy of mine as well, that but God knows what you need.
That part.
And because he knows what you need, sometimes we don't lean into the resources God gives us because we see that behavior as weak or soft, because we saw how people who operated in that behavior were treated. Yeah. But what you're not accounting for is they operated in grace, but even in their grace, they didn't know how to put in boundaries, right? Mm-hmm. So the abuse that you seen them suffer at being graceful wasn't because they were graceful. It was because they didn't know graced boundaries, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, it took growth and years to discover and to learn. And I say this a million times. I say this to so many people. Boundaries is healthy. Yeah. When you put them out there in a healthy way, right? Boundaries is what actually protects your grace.
Yeah. Yes.
Boundaries protect your peace, right? And so the problem is that we grew up in a culture where we didn't see boundaries. And when we did, they looked toxic, right? Because they normally came out of a hurt place instead of out of a protective place, right? And so I got to apply grace, but I also got to apply boundaries that protects me as I continue to apply grace. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so I think that it's important, though, because moving forward, like I kid you not, I was telling this about the other day, we're not going to stop having disagreements. Yeah. Just because we both think I saved and love the Lord and we walking with God don't mean we're going to stop disagreeing. Yeah. You got some family members you don't get along with. Even after you pray, God restores it. Now you got to start putting boundaries in place to keep you from having fallouts like the one you had, because you're not going to agree all the time. Me and Kenneth are two totally different people. For me and Kenneth, it worked for me and Kenneth. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't think of a time we really fell out like that. Ever. I mean, just no. Like, but that's because of how we are wired, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is I could think of some people that I done fell out with. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we made it right, but then I didn't put a boundary in place to say, okay, listen, this affects me in this way. Mm-hmm. And let's just be clear, we are all a healing in process. So everyone on this call has a trigger, something that affects you. It work your nerve if said the right way or presented the right. It might not even be words. Some of y'all are clean freaks, and if you show up in them kids' room and it's some dust on the counter, that dust just set you. Dust make you madder than a kid hollering through the house. I can deal with the noise, but boy, if I wipe my finger and I have you clean the dish and I go get a plate out the cabinet to put some food on it, and I'm telling you, I could take toast, bread, and scrub the grease off of it and make toast because it's that oily, we got a problem. For me, just my wife is probably sitting over here shaking at I feel attacked. My wife is probably sitting over here shaking at the chance to say this, so I'm going to say it so she don't get a chance. One of my things used to be,
she feel attacked.
I love cooking. Yeah. I love cooking. But
you cooking tonight?
But no, I cook on miss. That's an inside joke, y'all.
My bad, you love cooking. My bad. I messed you up.
That's me. Wash the dishes right. Yeah. Yes. But wait, that's not my peeve.
That's not his problem.
I'm gonna tell you my problem is. So here's my problem. I go and I buy the spices I like. I got the measuring cups for when I need to measure something. I got everything that I need. I got me a food processor for when, you know, that ranch dip that everybody had at the after service, that ranch dip, I got a food processor so I can, you know, right?
Mix it up.
But when the kids do the dishes, the lid will be in one cabinet, the blade be in another cabinet. Yeah. So then my wife is like, I'm like, babe, you know what? I don't want to cook no more. She's like, why? Nothing's where I needed it to be. I've gotten better at that though now. Now, babe, I can't find such and such. She was like, oh, I'm going to come help you, babe. And we look for it, right? Why are you saying that? Because you.
We as in me. Why you like, I don't understand.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, that happened before I came over here today. But I did so awesome. I'm telling you, man, I'm getting cold at this thing, man. My chips got a certain bucket. When I went in there just now to go look at it, and then I'm fasting too, I just wanted to look at them. I couldn't eat them. They were sideways. So the chips should be lined up just like this. Yeah. One of the chips was like this.
That's how you do somebody in a minute.
I said, hey, man, who up in here messing up the chips? I said, come, and I did. I said, man, come on, man. When y'all go in there, y'all just line it up right. That would not be the issue later on. Y'all nasty, don't go y'all butt in there no more.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, just make sure y'all line it up.
Yeah.
And when I walked out the kitchen, I was like, how? Man, I feel you, Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
We
I ain't gonna lie. You know this the truth.
Yeah.
When you get hit with a test and you pass it,
Oh man.
Yeah.
man, that junk feel good. Like it feels good. Like again, when I forgive somebody, and then some weeks or some months go by, and I'm walking through the grocery store and I see him, and my blood don't boil, and right, I feel good about myself. I'm testifying, but being transparent.
Yes.
I got something I'm working on, so y'all be praying for me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I don't like. I don't like when I come into the grocery store and you walk in proximity to pass me and I speak to you
Yeah.
and you don't speak back or you don't say excuse me and I feel ignored. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I don't respond. Not to them.
To them.
My wife here though.
Tells me.
My wife here though. I don't
And then
respond
I'll
to
just
them.
be like, oh, did you forget to get grapes?
Yeah, to change the
Where's some
subject.
seasoning? When we coming to
The
store?
letter don't want none of the problems.
I know.
And she be like,
Let's find something else.
I kid you not. I'm working on it. I'm gonna be better at it, I promise. But the other day I went to the store and this lady, she walked past me one time, she didn't speak. I spoke to her because I'm looking for something. She walks in front of me. I said, okay, God, this is a test. Like I'm aware, Lord. Go a couple of hours down, and the same lady passed me again. I was like, okay, Lord. I got my groceries. I paid my groceries. And I'm walking out the store. I kid you not. I said, Brian, you did a good job today. That test you passed.
Good job.
Like Bubba. Good job. Yeah, that test you passed.
If they was
And so-
passing out stickers, you would have got one.
Got one.
yes,
All right,
man.
here we go. The next question. How do generational patterns continue if they're not addressed? How do generational patterns continue if they're not addressed? A, they disguise themselves as personality. B,
Why you
they show up in your parenting. Or C, they cause distance in your relationships. How do generational patterns continue if they're not addressed? A, they disguise themselves as personality. B, they show up in your parenting. Or C, they cause distance in your
All of the
relationships.
above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
B and C. All of the above. A, B, and C.
Yeah.
All right, KT, I'm going to give you the
I
first
do.
swing at this one this time.
Whatever you don't pluck up.
Yeah, it grow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. I'm gonna say all three, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe all three of them shows up.
You want me to read them back to you one more
yes,
time?
yes.
A, they disguise themselves as personality. B, they show up in your parenting. And C, they cause distance in your relationships.
Man, I don't like that. Hey, man, I might have to take that one back. Because that's almost saying I got like about 6 or 7 people. No, but it's actually true, man. You know, it's no different. And that's why we have to understand. And that's why I said we have to be willing to suffer in all things.
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to suffer through all things, that means you're not willing to grow.
Yeah.
And man, our lives, I don't care what chapter we turn to, what book we open up, it's only one guy that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was it. We don't have that perfect story. We have a growth story.
The facts.
We are learning. We are growing one to another. We are discipling, iron sharpening iron. So I cannot say because it worked for them that it was supposed to work for me.
Yeah.
I have to lace my shoes up and operate, put my belt of truth on, put my armor on, put my shield on. But I would say all of them. No, absolutely, man. Starting off with the one, it does because one day you can feel a certain way because everything is working that way. And you can let something slide the next day just because you don't want the problems you had last week, but it's still building up because you never have really worked on it truly. You just ignored it until the right time. And that's how the enemy works.
Yep.
The enemy sees you on fire.
Yep.
He sees that you praying. He know he can't stop you because you seeking and you asking for something.
Yeah.
But the moment a couple weeks go by and that thing still haven't get answered, now those prayers start getting declined. You went from praying for 2 hours to 30 minutes because now you're getting weak.
Yeah.
You're getting frustrated, and that's how it shows up in our parenting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to see some change. Sometimes I want to see some growth. But like Miss Shonda said, hey, we have to change some areas.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do this. You got to take that slap and turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Hey, she wasn't a screamer. I was a screamer.
Yeah.
So, but how do I get out of screaming?
Yeah.
I allow iron to sharpen iron. I allow somebody to talk to me.
Yeah.
I allow myself to not sound good, but become good.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have to start growing in those areas where we are also hurting at. We can't just, we cannot.
Explain what suffering means.
Man, suffering means me not accepting.
Yeah.
What I'm in.
Yeah.
Me not accepting where I'm at.
Yeah.
Me not agreeing with what God is over in my life.
Yeah.
That's the suffering I'm talking about. Suffering is I should be able to understand that God is in full control. Proverbs 3, 4 and 5. Lean not on my own understanding, but acknowledge him in all my ways so that he can direct my path. And that comes with suffering. It's not my job to know where I'm going. It's my job to believe that I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm going somewhere with God. And long as I believe that and begin to walk in it and seeking after his kingdom, I do not have to say, this is the only way Zaria is going to learn. This is the only way my boy is going to learn. No, I begin to operate in love. And I allow God to allow them to learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I teach them through love and not through consequences and discipline, they will begin to change.
Yeah. And at the same time, while all of that's happening, I'm enduring, right? Because just because I taught it today doesn't mean it becomes applicable tomorrow. Because I was telling somebody the other day, you know, you counsel couples, you counsel people, right? And the first couple of times you say something, they're like, man, we've been doing good for 2 weeks. And then week 3, they're like, man, we hit a bad point. No, you didn't. You didn't hit a bad point because what you have to understand is there's always going to be a bad point.
Yeah.
What I've taught you has made for good action, but it has not become a good habit, right? And so even going back to the concept of the question here, the reason that the generational pattern continues to go on is because our children inherited from us because we are still living it. Yeah. And I would rather my child see me wrestle with God than to see me surrender to the enemy, right? Yeah. I would rather see my child, man, I remember when my dad used to talk like this, but he don't talk like that. It still show up every once in a while, but he getting better, right? Versus my child to say, my dad just gave himself over to the devil. He cuss, drink, smoke, fight. You know what I mean? Like he doing it all. Why? Because if you make your children think that there is no suffering, that there is no fighting, that there isn't a warfare and a tug back and forth with the enemy, right, you set your children up to be defeated because they go into the real world and the battle happens. Yes. KT, when we were kids, when we were kids, you used to box, right? And in boxing, one of the things that we understand in boxing, you gonna give a lick to get a lick. Mm-hmm. You just gotta determine what lick you willing to give away. Yep. If I don't teach my children that their life is going to hit you, mm-hmm, it's not whether or not you get hit, it's where you allow the enemy to hit you and are you prepared to hit him back. Yeah. You watch me fight, right? My daughter has seen her father in the toughest of his seasons of life. And even when we sit down and we talk, she says to me, but I saw you make it though. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I didn't hide the warfare and the fight. I didn't hide it. You good. Okay. I didn't hide it. I didn't wrestle with it. I didn't pretend like it didn't exist. But I made sure that the lesson I displayed for her wasn't to waddle in it or to sit in it, but to fight with it, right? Yeah. I went in my room and I prayed. My children watch me go in my closet. I'm just being honest with you. In my closet, there's a little desk, little piece of desk. Man, we light our candles, turn on our worship music, turn the lights off, and get before God. Yeah. My daughter asked me, Daddy, what you doing? I'm going to pray. Can I come pray with you? Yep, sure can. Why are you saying that? Because she knew I was going through something. Yeah. But to make sure that she didn't repeat my generational pattern, I wanted her to also see where Daddy knew to go with the things Daddy knew he couldn't handle on his own. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Having a real relationship with God has really shaped how I have a real relationship with the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It does. I'm being honest, and I'm saying that because you hear people say cliche, "Oh, trust and believe. You don't get saved and the warfare go away." We say that, but that's not what we living in front of them. Because when warfare happens, they hear our complaints. They hear our gripes. They see us miss church. They see us forsaking assembly. They see us down and depressed all the time. Why? Because they're not seeing the battle. They're seeing the defeat.
Yeah.
But if I start living the victory I'm already saying I have, life all testimony, exactly, sharing, declaring. We have gotten so scared of telling people I failed over here, but because God showed up right there, I'm better at it over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay.
It is.
I was gonna say something with the suffering, because suffering isn't just like the things that you think of suffering. Suffering can also be like I'm not able to have children for so long. That's suffering. Or I'm struggling with fornication. I'm struggling with alcoholism. That's suffering.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to do this.
Yes.
Because God is requiring my life.
Yes.
God is requiring me, period.
Yes.
And my will. He's requiring me. So the suffering of not doing the things that my flesh may desire, that's some real suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to be able to put that on our back. And it's like, God, I'm giving this to you because I know you are the only one that's going to be able to keep me in line from not doing the other things.
Yes.
So,
And I don't know who this is for, but Sean, you started something with that suffering. But I want to say something to you here. That earthly, and God, thank you. That earthly term of suffering in silence, that is a lie and a trick from the enemy.
It is.
yeah.
You need to stop silently suffering, and you need to start suffering with some worship and a praise and a prayer and a community that's praying and pressing and pushing with you.
Yeah.
The enemy wants you to suffer in silence because in silence he got you cornered.
That part.
Yeah.
But when you are not silent and you are declaring, the enemy knows, if she get to talking, her brother gonna show up.
Yeah.
If he get to talking, Big G, Big O, Big D coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I gotta make sure that I don't think you understand. The enemy wants your mind first.
Yes.
Because if I can get your mind, everything else
Will follow.
falls subject.
Yes.
Right? If I can get you to doubt God, your movements, your emotion, your declaration,
Yes.
your dreams, they all gonna be stifled and shut down because the enemy got your mind.
Yeah.
And being, you had something?
Go ahead. I'll let you say.
We have to stop diminishing our weakness seasons.
Yeah.
That's where our strength comes in at.
Yeah.
We downplay our weaknesses. We hide our weaknesses.
Yeah.
We hide our sufferings, man, because we think that not only we the only ones, we feel like it's a shame.
Yeah.
But God says where we are weak, He is strong.
And
We
he
have to
gonna show
stand
up.
that that's when my faith has an
Yes.
opportunity to change.
100%.
That's when my land has an opportunity to change. That's when my marriage has an opportunity to change. That's when my parenting has an opportunity to change, right where I am weak at. So I should not feel down when I'm weak. I might feel a little uncomfortable or uncertainty in my weakness, but I shouldn't feel down while I am weak because I know that God is truly building me up. It's just like when we go to work, man. I don't know how many people that really have been promoted on their jobs, but most people that go to work, they never reach a promotion.
Yeah.
They go to work for 20 years being the same person with the same title.
They get some raises here and there, but no promotion.
No promotion. And then you only got 3 people that's willing to go to work and go way past what they've been hired for. They go to the next level. They read more books. They get more instructions. They begin to start looking where the holes at in the company and begin to start filling them. They see where it's weak at. And as believers, that's what we have to get. We comfortable without being promoted. We have to start looking for the areas where it's weak at. We got to look for the areas where we need to be strengthened at, where other people need to be strengthened at, and begin to promote and build each other up and build ourselves up so that we can be who God has called us to become. And when you just spoke on that suffering unit, that's it. That is the key to it, man. We have to understand it all that comes together. All of it, man. Powerful.
Well, I was gonna give Shonda a shot, because
Was it
honestly,
Shonda
Let me say
go
this,
ahead.
real quick. We are the church.
Yeah,
A church is to move. It's not the four walls. It's we as a people.
yeah,
And life is a testimony. You all are touching on it in that room that we are so downplayed nowadays. Everybody wants to make it seem like everything is okay. But I have a statement. It's okay not to be okay.
that part.
When I said earlier, God and therapy goes
Yes,
together. You don't have to suffer alone. You can go get a licensed clinical therapist to help you to work through those emotions. You can get you a village around you. And
yep,
also that we have to just realize, show your weaknesses. It's okay. The
yeah,
devil wants us to be shamed, or they don't can't the the devil wants you to think if you speak on it, then you're shaming the
yeah,
person who hurt you. No, it's freeing you from the
yeah,
situation.
yeah. And I tell people all the time,
That's powerful.
I don't know. I'm gonna wrap up on this one, and I want you to know we only got through 3 questions. but I want to say something. I want to say this to you, and God freed me in this. I used to be scared to tell my story because I'm a protector, so I'm always trying to protect the characters in my story. And God says you can tell your story and still protect the characters. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes we want to drop names, and names ain't necessary.
Yeah.
But what is necessary is I went through this, I experienced this, and God did that. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay, right? Like, again, I think sometimes we're worried about who's going to be hurt in the process.
Yes.
Man, I appreciate you guys for
Yeah.
joining with us tonight.
Powerful, man. And can I say something about therapy right quick? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Or what she spoke of
No,
on
go
it.
ahead.
Very necessary, man. And I just want to piggyback off of that.
No, go ahead.
Because I did it for the first time in my life last year, man. And I sat in the car when I first got off of work, and I had Baguette. She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm talking to her, and she
cried?
just wanted to get a little bit of information. I think I gave her 30 days in that one day, and I was just crying. I was like, "Oh my God, boy, you weak."
Yeah, I did that.
But no, it's very needed.
Yeah.
It's very needed. So I thank you for sharing that, man. God and therapy does go together, man. We have to find we have to find someone licensed. We have to find somebody. We have to be discipled.
Yeah.
You have to find somebody to help you. So
Yeah.
that we were never meant to be by ourselves.
Yeah.
That's when the enemy can work on us.
Yeah.
When we have a village, when we have a community, when we have yoke, when we have people, brothers and sisters around us that are not saying it but really are praying it, we will begin to see chains come off, gates be open. Peter will begin to knock at that door without us even expecting it, because you have a real community behind you.
That
And
part.
understand this too as well, because I can't speak for the third part. I've never got help from a licensed therapist, but I have gotten help from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a person, but you are not alone.
No.
When Jesus died, the helper came in.
Yeah.
Use your helper.
Yeah.
He'll show up when you need him.
Yep.
He has shown up for me in the darkest times, when it's night, anytime he was always there to tell me, I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. I understand every part, and I will continue to pray. So that's the important part. Stand in prayer and understanding who the Holy Spirit is, because the Holy Spirit is the helper. I did not have anyone to call that would say, you know what, I totally understand and I agree with you saying, because they did not. They did not understand. They could not agree. They may could relate, but they didn't understand. So the person that understood the most when I was in my season was the Holy Spirit. He knew every part. He knew the depth. He knew how much it hurt, how deep it went, and around and about. Call on God. God will never leave you nor forsake you. People are great, because my husband has counseled me many a times. But the true helper, the one that can, he can take that seam out so great that all you're going to start doing is crying and weeping, because you know it is not you. We try to do it in our own strength. And that is the problem. Our own strength, we can't do it.
No.
I'm not able to fix me because I didn't create me.
That part.
My creator, God, he created me. He know my ends, he know my out, he know what I went wrong. And he know my beginning to my end. He know where I am right now. Call on God. Cultivate that intimacy with God, and God will show you what and where. Because it's been times when even when I went through the healing process and I say, God, well, something is not right. I'm missing something. I say, well, Holy Spirit, let me know what I meant. He said your emotions need to be healed. So he'll speak. You spend that time with him. Like Brian say, wrestle.
Yeah.
Wrestle with God. God wants you. He said, when you seek me with all your heart, I will be found. Many of the times we don't seek him with all our heart. We seek him with the expectation that he's going to show up, but not with all our heart. Yeah. When you seek with all your heart, he will be fine. Yes. If you continue to seek and strive after what you really want, and that's your healing, he's available for it. He just got to know how bad you want it. You have to be willing to surrender. That's where healing takes place, in surrenderance. Not feeling like you just have to get this off. You know, it's available to me. This is my heritage. This is for me. Yeah. This is what Jesus died for, so that I may be healed, that I may walk in wholeness, boldness, and declare that I'm healed. So I pray that y'all are healed tonight, that y'all can get a starting point to where you need that healing. Call on God, call on the Holy Spirit. If you have a licensed therapist, call on them too.
Yeah. Even me, and I know we said we was wrapping it up because we done ran longer than we done ever ran. But I want to say this: even when I felt like it was time for me to go and find a therapist, I didn't go looking. I went praying.
Yeah.
And then as I prayed, I was telling somebody on the last call, matter of fact, like God pathed it out so well for me that I went to one therapist and it didn't really quite work out. And when you have a bad experience, some people just quit. Yeah. But I knew God had lined it all up, because even how it all orchestrated itself, I had been wrestling with, maybe I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I need to sit down with somebody. And I'm at work talking to a young lady at work, and she said, hold on one second. She stepped out the room. She came back. She said, I was booking my therapy session. I said, you got to go to a therapy? She said, yeah. I said, man, tell me what it's like. And so she started running it down for me. And I was like, I'm so used to being that person for other people. It's like, okay, this was the second go run. So I take a swing at it. I get on this app. I find the place. I kid you not. God couldn't have done it no better. I'm just being transparent. I wanted to look on the camera and see somebody that looked like me, but I also wanted it to be somebody who believed like me, right? I get on the phone with my therapist and I be talking the scriptures that I'm wrestling with and how God is dealing with me with said thing, and my therapist be like, and let me tell you, God says this, and I'm like, it wasn't even a question, right? Because you can hear when you have discernment, you can hear in the tone and how somebody talks about God, whether we talking about the same God or we talking about two different gods. You know what I mean? Like, just keeping it 100. And so when after that happened, man, I kid you not, if I get into a tight pinch and I'm praying about it, but I'm still in the flesh wrestling with it, I text him, hey, I need a meet. You know, and I kid you not, like, as we were navigating, blending the family, in the spiritual sense, I was killing it. Oh, yeah, it's working. But privately, behind closed doors, I was like, oh, if I could just choke him, like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, right? And I call my therapist. It's like, I need a meet. So we get on a meet, and I'm running it down to him. He says, okay, so maybe you try this. And I was like, I'll try, Doc, I will try whatever. Holy Spirit, is that okay? Oh, all right, I'm gonna try it. And before you know it, me and said child got a whole lot better. Like, the dynamic and the relationship changed. Why? Because God was involved.
Yes.
And I leaned on the resources that God made available. But I tell people, make sure that you are receiving counsel from somebody who aligns with your belief.
Amen.
Because if you don't tell me to go take medicine. Don't get me wrong, there's people who need it. I'm saying for me. Don't go tell me to take medicine because medicine is the cop-out. No. Give me the hard deets. Give me the hard information. Yeah. Let me take that hard information to God and let God say, Brian, you need to work through this.
Yeah.
You need to process this. All right? All right, y'all.
Yeah, that's fine. Like that is, and make sure license. What she said, what the woman of God said. Because I think the first person he was talking about me, so I guess it didn't work out. I think it didn't work out, but man, I'm glad you really got your healing.
Yeah,
your deliverance, man. It was truly amazing, man, to be back on the Yoke platform, man. Got another question, guys. A or B? A, who talks the most is the question. A, Brian. B, KT. It's looking like I've been winning lately, man.
B.
I can accept it, not in. All right, man, I got it.
All right, y'all. Well, before we dismiss, we always do this the same way, man. We close out with prayer, man. So we A and B. I got an A and B. Somebody was rocking with you.